So this is such a good question. So first of all, what do we mean by building value for the crate? The idea here is that you want your dog to see the crate as the place where good things happen. You want them to see it like Disneyland, like the best place in the world. And so you want to make sure that you're making the crate a really fun place to be. There's a few different ways you can do this. The first, which I think is probably the most popular way, is to make sure that any treats that you're giving your dog or any lick mats or any chews are given to your dog in the crate. Taking this a step further, you can make sure that all meal times are in the crate. And now if your dog is someone who doesn't like going into the crate or just won't eat if you put the food in the crate, you can go slower with this. So you can sprinkle a few pieces of kibble into the crate, let your dog go in and get it. Once he comes back out, sprinkle some more. And then once he's comfortable with that, you can put his whole bowl of food maybe right outside the crate. Once he's comfortable with that, move it maybe half in, half out, and then slowly kind of inch it into the crate every mealtime. The idea being, again, that your dog learns, okay, meals are fed in the crate. This is amazing. I love food. I love my crate. The next thing that you can do, which we've been doing with Vigo, which is actually a really fun thing to do, which is a similar principle but with play instead of with food, is we play a game of tug where we get him to release the toy, and he then knows that the only way we continue to play that game is by him going into his crate. So there's a few steps to this. Your dog has to know a release cue and he has to know a get it cue. I made a video already about how we taught release, so you can find that if that's of interest. But essentially, the way that you're going to get this game going initially is have your dog on a leash, stand near your crate, play with him, give the release cue. Once he releases, you want to stand and kind of look at the crate, but not really give any cue. You want your dog to choose to go into the crate. Once he goes into the crate, you then say get it and continue playing. The idea being that he's learning, okay, when I go into my crate, I then get to play. This is amazing. So that's some of the ways that we've built value for the crate ourselves. Looking at separation anxiety specifically, I spoke to a separation anxiety specialist probably a few months ago now, and her recommendation was that when you have a dog who's crying in the crate, you leave them for maybe like a second, and then you come back and reward. Then you leave them for 5 seconds and then you come back and reward. Then you leave them for 3 seconds. You basically want to be trending upwards in terms of the amount of time you're leaving them, but you're not increasing the amount of time every single time. And I've had so many people write to me and say that they've tried this and it's worked and they've built up to 5 minutes, whereas their dog before couldn't be alone for more than like 10 seconds. So apparently this is, it's a time consuming and it takes an investment of you carving out time to do this, but it is an effective and probably a kind, I would say, way of getting your dog comfortable with being alone. One last thing to add, Susan Garrett has a program called Crate Games. It's $30. It is very old school. It feels like you're watching an 80s fitness video, but the quality of content itself is really good. And that whole program is all about building value for the crate. We did it and highly recommend it. Definitely check that out too if you're not sure. I hope that helps though. Let me know if you have any other questions.